Hello and thanks for watching my video. Today I'm doing a little bit of an information video, and this is for a lot of you guys out there that may not have realised or may not have seen many other different sort of members of the Guild Wars 2 YouTube community, and I wanted to show you guys a few different people on YouTube that just do different things to do with Guild Wars 2 and you may not have realised that. So if you're not really interested or you think you know everybody about Guild Wars 2, then maybe this isn't the video for you. But again, this is trying to highlight some of the other people on Guild Wars 2's sort of impressive YouTube community. So I'm just actually recording this through my browser here. So here we go. First of all, obviously you can see me, and if those of you who notice, I do have a load of subscriptions. You can probably see I also do have my little Guild Wars 2 YouTube channel sort of section here, which I recommend a few other people on here, and it obviously has related channels that are related to Guild Wars 2. So let's go through. Obviously you know me, and what do I do? Well, my most popular videos are how to make gold. It's pretty obvious really why. I do lots of other things. I do have a lot of playlists, profession guides, which will soon include elite specializations. I'm going to be starting to do videos on those. Heart of Thorns preparation, if you want to go and see the Living Story Season 2, Living World, and anything you need to know about Heart of Thorns, if you want to prepare for it, that's the best one to do for that. Achievement Hunter, if you're going for achievement points, I still need to do some more of that. Road to a Legendary, if you want to get to the Legendary. PvP guides and PvP builds. Dungeon runs, which I pretty much have almost finished, but they're really not too popular, so there are other people who do them much better than me. And my leveling challenge, which has been going well, and I hopefully will complete that within a month's time. So that's me. I do lots of other random stuff. I try and generally focus on everyone. I don't really have a particular preference for the type of people that watch my stuff. It's generally I try and cover, from the casuals to the pretty experienced, the veterans, and then the elite type of people. So that's me, and that's what I do, and that's the content I do, and I try and run monthly competitions as well. So that's a bit about me. Who else have we got? Well, obviously we have the main YouTube channel for Guild Wars 2. This is where all of their videos, any trailers go up, points of interest, any sort of go for Guild Wars 2 PvP finals, any new things like the trailer for the Lion's Arch, ready up as well. Everything is on here. Living World releases. You can go back 2 years ago to see Halloween 2012. And you got all these other videos on here, so it's very recommended to go to and have that as a favorite, and subscribe, because you'll get a lot of videos and information from this. So that's Guild Wars 2's channel. We also have a singer and songwriter, and this is Sharm, and she does particularly to do with Guild Wars 2. You might have seen in a number of different videos. She's got a lot of collaborates with a number of different people, and she does lots of different sort of spoofs and sort of things. Very much a really talented singer. Working with Aurora Peachy, Bog Otter, you can see here just some of the other people that she's collaborated with, and she does a lot of really interesting stuff, and I enjoy listening to her playlist. She doesn't put too much Guild Wars 2 content out there, but the stuff she does is really good quality stuff. So definitely recommended to go and see Sharm. A new one that's come in is SuckatLove. For those of you who've been or active in the Reddit community, you would know who these people are. They do some really interesting music songs. They created a video to do with the ice bow, and because the ice bow was said to be getting a nerf, and they actually did a song, and it was really well received. And I think that Guild Wars ArenaNet's sort of responded to that by not nerfing it. So big credit goes to SuckatLove. Obviously not all the credit, but they are really talented. It's sort of duo, brother and sister, and they've been getting involved and doing different sort of anthems, and they're really good stuff. Then obviously we have the main man himself, Mr. WoodenPotatoes, one of the biggest channel that we have in Guild Wars 2, and you can see here how many subscribers he has, sort of almost 90,000, which I guess, compared to a lot of other games isn't that much. Things like FIFA will have millions of subscribers, but Guild Wars 2, obviously being an MMO, is a pretty more niche game, and so doesn't actually have as sort of a massive core audience that something like FIFA would have. So, but WoodenPotatoes, for me, he's the reason I got into doing videos on YouTube, and he does excellent lore videos, excellent Q&As, and for me, he has such an in-depth knowledge of the game that if you're going to subscribe to a Guild Wars 2 video, channel, this is definitely the one that you want to subscribe to. And then he has someone he collaborates a lot with the Visual Wood channel, and that is MattVisual, who I have to say has recently not been involved as much with Guild Wars 2. You can see here, like, he does a few first-person challenge views, but he hasn't been involved in Guild Wars 2 for a while. He's been doing a bit of the Witcher, but his channel generally he focuses on a lot of different other things and does some fun stuff as well. So Matt, he's a good Guild Wars 2 player. Maybe not recently, but I'm sure he'll be getting back in when Heart of Thorns comes out. Definitely worth subscribing to his stuff, because he does do some very unique and funny stuff indeed. Then we have Aurora Peachy, who hosts. She's on Twitch as well, but just became a partner, and she does a number of different things, particularly doing things like Guild Gab with a number of other YouTubers, Corvus, the RPG Shack, MMOInks. And sorry, not MMO, but like I think MMOInks has been on there once, and she also does a lot of reaction videos, and she does a lot of streaming, particularly to do with before or after point of interest on the Guild Wars 2 channel, and she does some interesting content as well. The sort of very reaction videos. You'll see her a lot of like sort of this crying or oh my god sort of imagery. She's really fun to watch. And someone that really actually, what is really fun about Peachy is that it's really nice to see someone get that involved and that emotional about a game, and that's why I feel that a lot of her content is sort of from the heart. And then we have someone who she works with a lot, a friend of hers, Bog Otter, who is a big person in his own right. He does some really funny stuff as well. He does a lot of different other games as well. You can see here Hearthstone, but he does some really interesting Guild Wars 2 stuff, puts up some Guild Wars 2 guild guides or guild guides, does some previews for gem items, and generally I think some of his funny stuff, actually when the trailers were coming out for the specializations, he actually does some really funny bad Foley stuff. I really recommend going to watch some of these because they are hilarious. But he does a lot of different sort of content out there, and he's definitely a channel that you should go over and watch some of his stuff. Then we have Brazil, who does a lot of more elite content, particularly with the DNT guild, and he has a lot of members like Nike. And they run, do really quick kills, like 10 or 11 seconds of a Lupicus kill, and how to solo, how to do dungeons. And, he does a lot of things that, for the very experienced players, really are quite, interesting stuff, because they really take you to that, final end level that you're really, when you want to go from like a casual to a veteran and a veteran to elite, from a veteran to elite player, this is sort of some of the stuff that you want to be watching. He does do tea time with sort of a few different other people, Mighty Teapot, Nemesis, Dero, I think that's his name, and definitely some of the elite stuff is good on here. He does get some criticism, but for me, I like some of the stuff Brazil does, because he really, he takes, like in D&T in particular, really take things to the maximum. They will perfect a particular sort of set of combination of 5 players in a dungeon, for example, or PvP or world versus world, and it's good to see that sort of thing, that there are players like him that really do work on this type of content. Then we have World of Enders, who also is involved with WoodenPotatoes, and he does a few other different things like Minecraft, and generally does a lot of his interesting stuff. I think was the bad builds as well as the Buddy Blitz stuff. I really enjoyed watching his Buddy Blitz with WoodenPotatoes. That's how I sort of first heard about World of Enders and Boots, and I do like watching his Boots' bad builds, because they are quite funny to see just what he comes up with. It really is funny. So definitely give a look to World of Enders. He's got some good stuff on his channel. Someone you really should pay attention to is Dulfy. Now Dulfy is pretty much the #1 person in Guild Wars 2 for guides. And particularly, you know, if you look down here, she will, you know, explain a lot of the living world achievements. And if you look recently, obviously not much has come out. Any new outfits, she demonstrates any new skins, everything like that. It's very good to come and look at Dulfy because she does an excellent job of just showing off whatever new skins, anything that comes into the gem store, any new finishes, for example. But again, for me, what really I love is particularly like jumping puzzle stuff, or the like sort of golden badge achievement where you're trying to find particular golden badges around the dry top or the silver wastes. That Dulfy is excellent for those types of guides. For any engineer type players out there, WolfManeer does some excellent stuff, particularly world versus world. He will show you really how to play the engineer very well, and definitely worth watching some of his content on there, particularly if you are mainly focused on engineer. So definitely WolfManeer, very good player out there for engineer, and it's got some very interesting views and sort of ideas on the engineer in particular. I don't think there's anyone else that really plays the engineer as sort of intensely as WolfManeer. MMOInks, very good for information, news, content, and you know, anything upcoming, talking. Again, he's involved with a number of different sort of discussion channels as well, doing sort of round table type discussions. And generally he does some interesting content. It's sort of to do with generally a lot of news and views, and so definitely Inks is one of those sort of people that is a very interesting character and worthwhile listening to his opinion on the subject. And finally, we actually have Jebro. Jebro is one of the main PvP shoutcasters for Guild Wars 2. Any PvP matches that go on, he is likely to be the one commentating on that. And he does do some interesting builds and videos out there. So again, if you are interested in PvP, Jebro is definitely the video person that you want to watch, because he's one of the main shoutcasters. There are a number of different, particularly like high profile PvP players, and they have some of their own channels, but they generally stream on Twitch. And so because I'm not really doing a Twitch video at the moment, I'm not really going to talk about them in that regard. But yeah, so regarding YouTube, Jebro he puts up a lot of the Guild Wars 2, the go for GW2 cups and stuff. So it's worth watching his channel, because you'll see things like Orange Logo versus TCG a lot on there, and generally it's worthwhile keeping an eye on his channel. For those of you who are interested in the Guild Wars 2 Elite side of things, I do recommend going and subscribing to the Guild Wars 2 Reddit forum, because they always have very interesting things. You'll find out a lot of new stuff straight away, probably even before ArenaNet releases it. You've got a few people that do data mining, particularly things like that Shaman, and I would definitely recommend actually subscribing to the forum, because you'll find out a lot of comments, and this does give a particular view, community sort of view. You do get a lot of people that are very outspoken on this forum, but again, you are likely to learn a lot from other people on here. Generally, you'll get a lot of good sort of community feel from Reddit. I do find it very, very useful, and I've got a lot of opinions on here, and so definitely this is a place that you should go to find out new content. And if you look at like what stuff's going on, just generally, if you want to find out something, this is the place to ask it. So that is the Guild Wars 2 forum. For those of you wanting to find out more about different YouTube directories, there is an excellent page here, which if you can just search that, official Guild Wars 2 YouTube directory, and a lot of people have put sort of what they're on here, different YouTubers, and this is what currently is the official Guild Wars 2 YouTube directory. And as you can see here, that's where I am. I'm in the random section, and here you go. All these are the world versus world. You've got Machinima. As I said, I'm mainly focusing on the English channel, so I don't really speak German or Spanish, so I wouldn't be able to give any opinion on that side. And there's lots of other people. I'm sure Sampo does a lot of interesting music videos. That Shaman, the prime data miner, it generally uses Reddit and Twitter. And there are a few others as well. Obviously some people will sort of stop posting and then start posting again, so some of these aren't as active as generally other things. And then again, you've got a lot of news type stuff as well. So for me, if we go back to me, I'm hoping that this little guide and tour for the YouTubers out there has been interesting for you, and that you might learn a few extra things, and you might find somebody out there who's creating content that you'll find very useful indeed. Thank you very much for watching. Please leave any comments you have on the video, and I will see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.